Nuh-uh.
One pass, one go.
That was like 10 seconds. Whoa, that was, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Purple Collar Life. If you've ever wondered what Orlando has to offer outside of the Disney parks, this video is for you. We just wrapped up an 8-day adventure, and let me tell you, Orlando is bursting with family fun. Delicious food, hidden gems, and amazing experiences. No park ticket needed. So buckle up and let's dive into our Orlando trip that proves you can have an incredible vacation away from the theme parks. It all started bright and early on day one, well actually really early, at 2 a.m. on July 4th. We loaded up our new Ford F-150 Lightning and hit the road to the Pittsburgh airport. The truck handled the dark, early morning highway like a champ, and all our gear fit perfectly. After a smooth flight, we touched down in sunny Orlando and headed to our relaxing home base, Hilton Grand Beach on Lake Bryan Beach Boulevard.
And this is Jennifer chiming in. I can't let Chad do an update on our vacation when I was the planner, overseer, and preparer. First of all, he totally skipped what we did on our check-in day while we waited for our suite to be ready. We headed to Disney's French Quarter Resort for breakfast beignets. The chocolate dipping sauce is my favorite. No fees for parking, and the cost is reasonable. Around $13 for half a dozen. Enough for leftovers in the microwave. In full disclosure, too, this wasn't the only time we swung in for beignets.
Let's talk about the accommodation at the Hilton Grand Beach. It's a dream for families and groups. We checked into a spacious 3-bedroom suite with a full kitchen, outdoor grills, beautiful pools, shuffleboard, and pickleball courts, plus family activities galore. Having a kitchen meant we could cook our own meals, saving money and eating just the way we liked. And after a day in the Florida sun, winding down with a homemade meal or an ice cream was the perfect ending.
It had been 9 years since we visited this resort, and since then, Hilton purchased and updated it. The furniture and appliances are new, and you just can't beat the space. 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, full kitchen, screened-in patio with fan, lakeside views, washer and dryer, and all of that less than the cost of a regular hotel room at a budget Disney resort. I get it, the Disney bubble is super cool, and Mackenzie and I have done that several times. But people forget that there are other options. No parking fees here, no fighting for a decent spot or walking long distances. Park right at your building with no issues. We had so much fun playing pickleball, and the second pool was so quiet. Not necessarily adult only, but very quiet and enjoyable every single day.
We spent the first days lounging at the pools, grilling outside, playing games, and just soaking up the resort vibe. Of course, we couldn't skip all the Disney magic. So on Saturday, we hopped the monorail for a quick service snack tour. We stopped at Polynesian's Tambu Lounge for tropical drinks and bites, Grand Floridian's Gasparilla Grill for quick classic eats, and Contemporary Resort's Contempo Cafe, home to amazing desserts and monorail views. It was a fun and stress-free way to sample Disney without paying for park tickets.
Now, Chad and Aiden had never been to any of these resorts, and I thought it would be fun for them to check it out. In hindsight, I'd have skipped this part of my itinerary altogether. I wish we would have just gone to the Poly for Ohana noodles at the Tambu Lounge, then back to our resort. Everything was super crowded. In fact, as a result, I ditched a different day's agenda to do the same thing with the Skyliner resorts. We had too much fun doing other things to spend time in the Disney crowds.
Sunday morning brought our favorite surprise, a guided fishing excursion at Disney's Yacht Club. For $499, you get 4 hours on a Disney pontoon boat, no fishing license needed, all the gear and bait provided, plus plenty of cold drinks. Our guide, Dave, was fantastic. We caught 19 fish and made awesome memories. If your family loves a little adventure, this is a must-try. Check in the description for Dave's contact information.
I like to think I'm pretty Disney competent. Being a Type A planner, Disney is fun for me. All the agendas, time schedules, lightning lanes, research, that all equals fun for me. So how had I never heard of the opportunity to do a fishing excursion on Disney property? I knew about dessert cruises and firework boat rides, but never fishing. It was pricey, but it was great. Mackenzie and Aiden already loved to fish, and I haven't fished since I was a kid. But trying to figure out how and when to book was so much harder than the actual fishing trip. You can't book online, which is weird, but you can book through the regular Disney reservation number, the same one you use to book dining reservations. Most of the locations only have one fishing boat, but they don't seem to book up months in advance because no one knows about them. We parked with no issues at the yacht club and had Dave waiting on us as soon as we got to the dock. He immediately drove us straight inside Epcot to fish before the park opened. It was so amazing being the only boat on the water and getting to fish inside the park. Dave took care of getting our pools ready, and every time we caught a fish, he was there with a net to take it off the hook and get us set up for the next one. He had all sorts of spots to take us once we had to leave Epcot. Dave said fishing the Magic Kingdom area usually brings the most fish caught, and the Disney Springs area, with the boat leaving from Port Orleans, has the biggest fish. The draw to the yacht where we fished was going inside Epcot. You can also fish from the Caribbean beach too, although Dave said fishing has been slower there lately. We chose the 4-hour tour, which was great, but I'd even do the 2-hour excursion if we were short on time or money. About 5 fish per hour was pretty exciting. This was not a cheap activity, but since we weren't spending it on park tickets, we got to try something new. A side note too, you're allowed to bring your own snacks and drinks on board, and while we didn't, you're even allowed to take alcohol.
Monday's highlight was the Spirit of the Swamp airboat ride through Florida's wetlands. Captain Shane Dobbins showed us the mother alligators guarding their nests, a massive male alligator, and all kinds of local wildlife. It was thrilling and easy to see why it was everyone's favorite activity. The cost was $327 and worth every penny. Captain Shane's information is below in the description.
Weird boating kind of people, ski boats, pontoon, jet ski, but none of us had ever experienced an airboat, and it was incredible. It was like we were boating in a field at some points. I chose Spirit of the Swamp because they offered private tours. For not much more money, we had the boat to ourselves. Some other companies have a dozen or so people on board. If you had a seat in the middle, you'd never be able to look over the boat and see. We had the best seats in the house. In fact, halfway through, the mom and me kept track of the time. Captain Shane let us switch seats so the kids had a chance to ride up front too. There was an option to do a 60 or 90 minute tour, and 100% I recommend the 90. We got to go miles away from the dock before needing to turn around. There's nothing like driving right up beside, not at a zoo, but in the wild. I'm not a thrill seeker at all, but the entire activity was amazing. It's something I hope everyone would have the opportunity to do, and something we would have never done had Disney parks been on our list. I'm not sure I'd have done this when Mackenzie was really little, but definitely with teenagers. And it's also something I hope to do again someday.
On Tuesday, we switched things up and moved to the Hilton Orlando Hotel, thanks to a timeshare presentation gift. Admittedly, we missed the roomy Grand Beach suite, but the Hilton had its own perks. Think poolside snacks, on-site restaurants, and a quiet adults-only pool area. Since there was no kitchen at this one, we sampled local restaurants and enjoyed some fantastic meals at Cuba Libre, Polite Pig, Chicken Guy, and more. Of course, not every spot was a winner, but trying new places was part of the adventure.
The Hilton Orlando was great, has a swanky feel to it, great restaurants, poolside smoothies. It was great, but next time we'll stick to the Grand Beach for the entire stay. You just can't beat the value there. The change in scenery provided us with new experiences, but it also provided us with a huge meal bill. Eating out 3 meals a day added up really fast. A lot of fun and convenience and memories made being poolside and close to the point, but costly too.
Wednesday was all about pool relaxation and, yes, the inevitable timeshare presentation, which we turned down. Thursday, we hit Cocoa Beach for private surf lessons from the Cocoa Beach Surf Shop, right on the pier. Parking was easy for $20, and chair and umbrella service was $35. After working up an appetite, we grabbed lunch at Long Doggers, where I tried a unique hamburger hot dog combo. Definitely something to remember. Friday was another laid-back pool day, topped off with an evening at Disney Springs. There's so much to do there, plenty of parking, great shops, cool entertainment, and delicious food options.
Mackenzie's had surf lessons on her bucket list for several years. We got to check that off the list this trip, another something we wouldn't have done if we were doing the parks. The price wasn't bad and the drive wasn't too far, about an hour. Take the day and do the beach. Cocoa was preferred to Daytona. And that little restaurant, the Long Doggers, the prices were so reasonable and the food was delicious. That area is also super close to Cape Canaveral. Too bad there weren't any launches during our stay, but I'd check that calendar anytime you're in Orlando.
Day number 8, Saturday, came way too soon. We left the hotel at 4 a.m. to catch our early flight back to Pennsylvania, ready to return to real life. To sum it all up, Orlando is packed with things to do and see without spending a dime on Disney park tickets. For a family of 4, what we spent on eating out, flights, and hotels was about the same as a typical Disney parks vacation. But we explored new sides of the city and made memories off the beaten path.
So we really didn't save any money by skipping out on the parks, but we got to do a lot of things we'd have never done if the parks were our goal. Being a Disney foodie is great, but there are tons of awesome food outside of the parks, great pools and resorts to relax in, and activities to explore. I'd still like to kayak with manatees, check out the Kennedy Space Station, and find local cuisine on another trip back to the area.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe for more Purple Color Life adventures. We'll be back home now doing our firewood and tractors and chainsaws and the regular routine. And let us know your favorite Orlando non-park experience in the comments below. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on our next adventure.